my YouTube channel. Today we will talk about port development in this video. Let us start the video. Port infrastructure is critical to the development of any country. India has a coastline that stretches approximately 7,500 kilometers. Ports handle approximately 90% of India's external trade by volume and 70% by value. Crude, petroleum, iron ore, coal and other essential commodities are all imported by sea. On India's coast there are 12 major ports and 205 minor ports. Now let us understand what exactly are ports. A port is defined as a harbour or an area capable of sheltering numerous ports and vessels and allowing continuous or periodic shipment transactions. Ports can be classified on two types, on the basis of cargo handled and on the basis of location. On the basis of cargo handle, it can be classified into three ports: industrial ports, commercial ports and comprehensive ports. On the basis of location, ports can be classified into two parts: inland ports and outports. Inland ports are those ports which are connected to the sea by a river or canal. Outports are those ports that are constructed away from the main ports. These assist the parent ports by receiving ships that are unable to approach due to their size. Now let us understand the importance of port development and connectivity for India. First, lowering logistics costs. Defragmented logistics. According to World Bank Logistics Index, India was ranked 44th, far behind United States which was ranked 14th and China which was ranked 26th. It is cost effective. India aims to reduce logistic costs from 14% of GDP to less than 10% by 2022 by using coastal shipping and inland waterways which are 60 to 80% less expensive. Second, blue economy. The term blue economy refers to all economic activities related to oceans, seas and coastal areas, and it stems from the need for integrated conservation, sustainability in maritime and domain management. Through transportation, India's blue economy supports 95% of country's business and estimated 4% to its GDP. India is also one of the top 5 producers of fish and aquaculture fish in the world. Now, third is safety. Ensure the safety of the strategic installation. Port development would result in the development of India's coast, which will house several strategic installations such as naval bases, nuclear power plants, satellites, missile launching ranges, and so on. Limited transnational organized crime at sea. India is vulnerable to narcotic drugs trafficking because it is located between two of the world's largest opium producing regions: the Golden Crescent, India, Iran, Afghanistan and Pakistan in the west, and Golden Triangle, Myanmar, Thailand and Laos in the east. Port development and efficient management of port resources would reduce such illegal... Sorry, there was an interruption. Let's start again. Port development and efficient management of port resources would reduce such illegal practices and ensure safety of communications, sea lanes, SLOC. Fourth is monitoring maritime traffic. The Indian Ocean region (IOR) is also the busiest maritime trade route with 11,000 to 12,000 ships passing through it at any given time. Monitoring and regulating the movement of these vessels is difficult but necessary for country's prosperity. Fifth is international affairs. Countering China's influence. China has proactively exacerbated India's pre-existing Sri Lanka-linked transshipment problem through its Belt and Road Initiative. Sri Lanka has already granted China a 99-year lease on Hambantota port. As a result, port development and local transshipment facilities are critical strategic needs for India. Regional integration. As South Asia remains one of the least integrated regions, India's eastern seaboard can help recreate an integrated hub and a smoke model for regional connectivity in the Bay of Bengal. Sixth is climate change. Indian Ocean is warming 3 times faster than the Pacific. Overfishing, coastal degradation and pollution all have a negative impact on marine ecosystem. As a result, good design and sound environment impact management of the port construction and operational activities are critical. Now, seventh is personal. Inclusive development necessity a safe and low-cost model method of exporting finished goods and importing raw materials. As a result, the majority of industries in the world are concentrated along coastlines near major ports. Sustainable livelihood development in the fisheries sector. India is the world's second largest producer of fish. By improving its ability to ship them to foreign countries, India could increase the income of fishermen while also ensuring food and nutrition security. Now, port-led development case studies. Let us talk about some case studies which has impacted by the port development a lot. First is Singapore. Singapore's natural deep sea port and geographical location at the crossroads of important shipping channels make trade along with production and services a major economic sector. Second is China. Several of China's container ports are among the most connected in the world, according to the Linear Shipping Connectivity Index (LSCI). Third is United Kingdom. It is estimated that the port industry directly contributed 61% turnover, 57% of GVA and 52% of employment in 2017. Now let us talk about the importance of port-led development. Port-led development is critical for improving the ease of cross-border trade. Import and export can be more efficient and cost-effective if ports are developed. In order to achieve this, India must develop major transshipment ports, provide last-mile connectivity to ports, establish links with new regions, and improve multi-modal connectivity with ports. Port administration in India. Major and minor ports are the two types of ports in India. The central government owns and manages major ports, while the state government owns and manages minor ports. India has 12 major ports and 205 minor and intermediate ports that have been notified. Ports of minor interest. Minor ports are managed at the state level by the department in charge of ports, or if established, the State Maritime Board. As in Gujarat, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu, state maritime boards perform functions similar to port trust and have the authority to set tariffs. They also work to attract private investment by awarding concession contracts, providing incentives, exclusive rights, and ensuring land acquisition. Now let us talk about the service post model versus landlord port model. The service port model entails the port authority owning the land as well as available assets, both fixed and mobile, and performing all regulatory and port functions. The model of landlord port, the publicly governed port authority serves as a regulatory body as well as a landlord, while private companies carry out port operations, primarily cargo handling. In this case, the port authority retains ownership of the port while the infrastructure is leased to private firms that provide and maintain their own superstructure as well as install their own cargo handle equipment. Now, let us talk about the problems and obstacles in India's port connectivity. High turnaround times. India's ports have long turnaround time for ships. In Singapore, for example, average ship turnaround time is less than a day. In India, however, it has been more than 2 days. Port congestion. Port congestion is a major concern due to container volume, lack of handling equipment, and inefficient operation. Third, long inspection and scrutiny. While customs operations in India are rapidly becoming paperless, digital inspections and scrutiny for cargo and other shipping operations remain lengthy. Issues with insufficient infrastructure and technology. At non-major ports, there is a lack of adequate berthing facilities, a sufficient number of berths, and insufficient length for proper breadth of vessels. And many more problems are also there. We will discuss separately in another video about all those problems. Now let us talk about some of the government initiatives to counter these problems. The first is Sagarmala program. It focuses on port modernization and development, improving port connectivity, assisting coastal communities, and stimulating post-later industrialization. Sagarmala's goal is to reduce the cost of logistics for both foreign and domestic trade. It also aims to double water transportation share of model mix. Second, Project Jalmarg Vikas. It is a project for the development of Indian national waterways. It was implemented as a national integration initiative with the goal of reducing rail and road congestion, carbon footprint, and resource depletion. Now there are some more projects too, but video is already going too lengthy, so let's leave them for another time. Now let's conclude the video. To encourage foreign investment in port sector, environmental clearances and traffic norms, land acquisition and so on must be standardized and implemented. It is critical to connect major and minor ports by rail in order to ensure seamless multimodal transportation and improve efficiency. The emphasis should be on increasing capacity and improving operational efficiency, installing advanced cargo handling process, scalability in process and mechanized of port operations should be prioritized. Big data, advanced GPS navigation system, for example, should be used to their full potential to improve port operations. So, in this video, we have saw why port development is necessary for India's development. We will talk about any other topic in our next video. You can suggest it in your comments, and if you want more detail about this video, we will provide it in description. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.